What you're doing is exchanging views from your country compared to views or ideas that are coming from the other country. So language was not an issue. Anyone would say anything in a language that they are comfortable with, then the friends would help interpret or narrate that issue or story in a language that the others can actually understand. So language was not an issue.
Thank you very much. So it actually gave an impression that if you fail to maybe express yourself in a certain language, in English, you can even speak Bemba. You can even speak the language that you're familiar with. Then one of your friends will come in and translate for the Romanian, for the Serbian, for the Turkish. That's the way it was. And one thing that I loved about this, did you notice, do the Turkish or the Serbians, were they speaking good English, Madam Piri? What do you think about that?
Not really, because sometimes they would speak in Turkish, and there were subtitles whereby you needed to read, and there was also an interpreter.
Yeah, that's very true. And if we had to continue doing this, what would you love to see more of it, as in what should we, how should we keep this meeting more interesting?
Okay, I feel that more learners should be involved, and it should also trickle down to nationwide and even the district as well, whereby from time to time we can have virtual meetings with people from Northwestern, Eastern, Southern and all that. We can all be in one place at a certain time and interact and get to know about different cultures. We get to teach each other, just like the way we learned a lot from Turkey, like their culture, their festivals and all that.
Good. Madam Chiza, any advice to the teachers, our mentors?
I think mentors should come on board. Why do I say so? Because this program might seem a little bit small, but then when we interact in such a manner where mentors are there to guide the learners, then I think we can build we are going to build one nation which is going to bring about change. So I would encourage my other mentors who are not part of this program to come on board and join us.
Was it easy for you to coordinate the children?
It was, but we faced challenges in terms of we never had a laptop, so we basically relied on a phone.
Yeah.
So at times it was a challenge where learners, if someone has to give or say something to the others, they need to pass the phone on to the other person.
Wow.
So that was a little bit a challenge on our part. But then, once everyone is involved, I'm sure we can make a change, and at least.
Did you face the same challenge, Mr. Mpo?
Yeah, we did when we were beginning the program, but I think with guidance from National Coordinator, who constantly gave us advice on what should be done and how we can maneuver around the situation, I think we were able to overcome that problem.
So, what request would you love to make to your superiors regarding gadget-wise to support these projects, the DFC, to continue going on like that?
Okay, maybe let me begin it this way. The Erasmus project can actually begin maybe at school level. For me, this is where it all begins from. Because we have children that cannot express themselves, that cannot speak in these schools, yet we want them to speak or express themselves at maybe national level and maybe at international level, as it was with Erasmus. So I think through Design for Change, first with the mentors, let us go back to our schools and implement a deliberate policy where our children can interact within themselves, within the school. Thereafter, I think I will touch on with what the madam actually said, You know, we are a country, sorry, maybe I'll sound a bit tough. We are a country that is maybe fighting with a few things concerned with tribalism and these other things. I think if we were to move Erasmus, the way the madam put it, to provinces, I don't think our young ones, because these are the ones that will be there in the next generation, I do not think they'll have a problem of tribe, because they would start as young as they are to interact with someone who's in Eastern Province. And they'll learn to say, Mulibwanji, how are you, Muchwani, all those things. You know, Ngachili, these are things that these children can learn amongst themselves within a country. Such that when they are old enough, they will not be able to have a problem where they would say, no, this one is Bemba, this one is Eastern, because they would have built it from here.
That's true.
Then, lastly, I would maybe ask through the national coordinator is, the next time maybe as we push for Erasmus, I discovered that there were very few schools that took part in Erasmus. Sad for our province, where we only had a single school, which was Zambezi boarding. And the rest of the schools were not actually involved. And maybe Kitwe, maybe a few schools. Actually in Dola, there was also one school. So please, maybe to Madam Patience and the team, please we ask you, Erasmus was a very, very good project. And we really enjoyed it with our kids, and the kids really loved it. Please bring more kids on board so that we enjoy it more.
Thank you so much. When they called upon you, Joy, to say you are going to be meeting with Sabia, was it something that you thought it's easy? It's very easy. Was it challenging to you? Did you have some nerves?
Okay, so naturally, I'm very confident. So I was like, oh, okay, Romania.
That's great. Did you receive it with the same vibe, Miriam?
Yes, I did, because I'm one person who's very vibrant and I love talking to different people at different interviews.
Great. But when the interaction was going on, what challenges did you face, Sepo? Did you face any challenges?
During the project?
Yeah.
Okay, so at times when we're supposed to have meetings, maybe we're having class, so the time that they were scheduled to have the meeting, maybe class is not yet over, so we have to leave a bit early and miss the last class to join the meeting.
Okay. So the interaction itself brought about moving up and down, then we are going to make some changes to that next time. Now, when we talk about your interaction with the group, because when we started, ladies and gentlemen, boy and girls, Yuri. When we started, we had, I think we observed something. It was hard for our children to come out, especially the first few meetings here and there. It was difficult for them to bring it out. Like when they see that white skin, that fear was there. Yeah, that thing. But as time went by, we noticed how the young minds were able to flow. Can you share the same experience, madam? How was it with your school? Monga?
Okay, as in for my school, just like you said, Ronald, to say in the beginning it was quite tough. Looking at the other team there, which was Turkey. So I'm sure the learners were like, they felt a little bit inferior looking at their skin, knowing that a Mzungu is above and
Sure.
really, yeah. So I just continued encouraging them. And at the end of the day, they were very nice people, they're a very good team,
Yes.
such that they really welcomed them, they made them comfortable, and at the end of the day, they were able to interact, they were able to have conversations, play games with them, and it was very sad, such that they cried at the last day.
At the last day. Yeah, that's what actually happened. Tears were flowing just to let go. So, we want want to talk about Erasmus. Did you understand what Erasmus meant? The whole Erasmus project. Many people may not know what Erasmus is.
Okay, so for Erasmus projects, it is actually a project that is involved with cultural exchange. So it was a program that was entirely based on exchanging ideas or things that are happening in your country compared to what is happening in another country. For example, pick an example of maybe traditional ceremonies or events that are happening in Zambia. Then they would also tell us events that happen in Turkey. You know, the school calendar in Zambia is different from the school calendar actually in Turkey. I learned it actually, Ronald, through the same Erasmus project. We actually thought maybe we're actually maybe doing the same things. But our friends are doing something which is different from us. And I remember when my girls told them to say, for us, we learn for 3 months. We're like, you, 3 months? Throughout 3 months, you're just learning. There's no break in between the 3 months. They're like, no, we break after the 3 months. That is a lot of time to be in school. So we actually learned a few things that, you know, we can try and implement as a country and maybe as schools around. So it was more of exchanging things that happen within your society compared to what is happening in another society.
Thank you so much. And that's why it was called a virtual exchange. That virtual exchange, it was all about exchanging ideas. They were even showcasing the DFC projects that they had made. We had some schools that even never had sports, and they took it upon themselves as a DFC project to go and talk to their superiors so that they can introduce sports in their schools. And it put through, and sports were introduced in their schools. So all the challenges that you may face at school, you can bring it up as a design for change. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Erasmus project was all about exchanging cultural diversity. It was all about the diversification of our cultures, what is happening in that country, and that interaction to get to know each other, to know what is about in Zambia, what is it about in Turkey, what is it about in Romania and Serbia. Even though these countries may have similar occasions, do you know that there are some countries where boys get to give girls a gift? That is Turkey, right? A period. It is nationwide. You just carry a gift at school to go and give any girl. And
it was actually the girls that were buying for the boys.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The girls were carrying something to take to the boy. You just get something and give a boy as a present. And it's nationwide. Imagine I go for work, I go and give, I just come and receive a gift from Miss Easy. And it's normal for them. There's nothing wrong about that. So ladies and gentlemen, I would love to say thank you to the team that came forth. Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you for this exchange that we have had. I'm sure a lot of people have picked a lot of things today, and I'm sure some mentors here are like, no, next time I have to do it. Who knows? Who knows? By the end of the day, that's what they told us, huh? By the end of the meeting, the Erasmus group said, who knows? Maybe we would want to see you physically. So who knows? That very day, when you say, I'm now joining Erasmus, then they say, no, it will not be done virtual. Everyone is coming to Romania. That's where we are meeting from. So DFC, I can, you can, together. Let me hear that once again. DFC?
I can, you can, together we can.
I'm not happy about one thing. The media team. DFC? The media. DFC? Let's give a round of applause to the team that came forth. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, our team, for that.